me, you know who I am a little bit. Oh, I must say, I've been teaching here for 20 years in prep school. Everybody's perhaps familiar with it. So, let's see who you are. I will say, please raise your hand if you're a student at the Foreign Languages Education Department. Could you please? Great. But of course the student, all right, let's make it smaller. Those who are third-year students at the Foreign Languages Education Department. Third-year students, great. Lower than that, first year, second year? Okay. Fourth year? Okay. Master's, doctorate, I suppose. Okay, that explains. There's quite a mixture. And the rest are actual teachers at our departments. Okay. All right. Great. Myself, I'm still a student and a teacher at the same time, so I have to raise my hand at every occasion. All right, so I know who I'm dealing with. All right, and you don't know who you're dealing with yet. Now, what I'm going to do is, I was going to say something. I'll share a secret with those who haven't graduated yet and are planning to. You will probably become a teacher or something similar to that, right? You're planning to do that. Maybe translation, maybe tourism work, maybe some other work, whatever. Whatever you do. Let me first ask you a question. Are you guessing meanings of words in reading? Guess the meaning of words as you're reading and listening? Don't. Because you have to know the exact meaning of the word. You're going to be teachers or translators or something like that. So from today on, I recommend learn the exact meaning of each word and what something means and what something does not mean. Okay? Are you agreeable? Yanlış yapacaksınız? Tamam, benim yüzüme gelmesin. Okay. Orada görünecekse fark etmez. Orada zaten görünüyor. Ama başlattıysanız fark etmez.
İşte engel olacaksa bu taraf kapatılıyor.
Çok daha.
Is this one better?
Yes.
Okay then. Tamam. Onu kapatalım. Çünkü ben şaşkınlıkla şimdi I will fly over there. Oh, it's over here. Just to show you know how beautiful my thing is. See? Teşekkür ederiz. Teşekkür ederiz. Oh, you can see from there too. What a luxury! Wow. Okay, I can see what I'm talking about. This is great. I didn't know that. Okay, now I was saying, please stop guessing meanings of words. Learn the meanings of words because you never know when you're going to need it. Let's try our hands. I'm going to ask you to have some kind of piece of paper, something to write with. Okay. I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and you will have to write down the answers. Okay? If you don't have a piece of paper in your hand, or you're busy having to do something else, you can work with a partner. That's okay. You can cheat working with a partner or a group. If you're a group of friends, that's fine. You cannot cheat by using any kind of dictionary whatsoever. A real solid dictionary or an electronic dictionary is out of the question, and cell phones also count as dictionaries these days, so sorry, no and no. Okay? I'm going to ask you 3 questions about a particular word I'll show you in a minute. Please write down the answers to those questions as fully as possible. Don't worry about the grammar. Just, the important words to define that word is enough. Is that clear? Okay, I'm just going to give you like 2-3 minutes, nothing more than that. Then we'll go on to the next stage. You can cheat by looking at each other, fine, but don't cheat by looking at the dictionary, please. Okay. Discuss and write down the following. What's a workshop? What should you expect from one? What's the role of the presenter? And what's the role of the participants? You can keep short notes. our beautiful descriptions up to 3 minutes, start now. You can discuss. It's okay to cheat from a friend. Half a minute more, then we'll stop and see. Okay? Okay. Now, do you notice that some of you probably have a clear idea of what a workshop is, and some of you may not be really clear about it. That's fine. I'm going to show you the answers on the board. If your answers are really close to what I have shown, what I will show in a minute, give yourself a credit of 3 full. If your answer is close enough, maybe just halfway, then half credit is also okay. If not, fine. Now you will learn. So let's see the answers. Please compare your answers to this one. A workshop is a short educational session designed to teach or demonstrate practical skills, techniques, or ideas. So it's not theoretical. Right? So it's educational, teach, demonstrate, practical skills, techniques. Okay? It's often designed for people who are working together or working in the same field, which defines us here, huh? Okay? Or will be working in the same field, that also counts. It is conducted by people or presented by people. There's a little bit of a slip here. Let's do some correction. Where's my red pen? Okay, who have real experience in the subject under discussion. Real experience being in class, all right? And that describes me. And I brought some of my colleagues to say, yes, she has done it. So, okay. Now, as you're comparing your answers, let me show you some pictures, and you tell me if this is the workshop we need here. The first picture. This is a workshop, okay, but not professional kind of thing, right? Yes, no? Yes. Yes, it's a workshop, but not professional educational workshop, okay? Not in our sense. No, this is a lecture. Yes, the last one is what you'll be doing today as well. So if you have any kind of professional development workshop in our field, you expect to find the participants walking about, and the presenter sitting down watching them like this. Okay, so don't take it personally if I do that in a minute. Let's go on to the other two questions. The participants are active. They're engaged in hands-on activities, hands touching on the things. They try out the practical ideas and techniques presented, then they discuss the experience. Okay, this is your role. So you're going to work the last 2 hours of Friday. I'm so sorry. But you're going to feel so very happy as you're going out. The presenter acts as a facilitator. It's a very posh word, you know, facilitator. The presenter comes to the session well prepared. See? During the session, the presenter does not do much, which I intend to comply with. So what I'm going to do is to tell you to do things and think about it. I say, fine, and we'll go on to the next stage, right? Okay, among you, look at your descriptions and your answers. Who got full grades or like kind of halfway through? Yes, yes, yeah, that's great. Some of you didn't get so very close because, you know, probably you haven't been into a workshop, you didn't know it was called a workshop, it's okay. I learned what an educational workshop was after having attended about 100 workshops. When I was asked to create one, I said, oh, I don't know exactly what it is, so it's okay. So we know what a workshop is, we know what a straight presentation is. That's what I mean by learning the word. Okay. So now that you know what a workshop is, and today we're going to have a workshop, please write down. I have a description here, but I've changed my mind. So work individually. Write down one question or one item of thing to which you expect to find an answer in this session. One is enough. Okay? I was going to collect the papers, but I changed my mind. At the end of the session, we'll just shout out the things. So do the first two things. Now I'm going to give you half a minute. Right? Think about it, maybe 1 minute. What do I expect from this session? What would I like her to talk about on written feedback? Ready? Just one. If you have another question, that's fine. Two will do as well. Then we'll jump on to the next task. You will do again. All right. May I? All right. Now, I'm jumping on to the real thing, written feedback. When I first looked at the title that I was asked to, have or write down or deliver a workshop on, I thought written feedback, I wonder what part of it they want to hear. And I thought, I wonder, correction, feedback, other things, which one? Then I thought, I wonder if we understand the same thing from the word feedback and correction. Dictionary work. Again, I'm hung up on this dictionary word. One more time, I'm going to ask you to think about these words. Here's your task. This is the last time you have to think of a word, so work with me. Work with your partners, okay? You can cheat. Don't check up a dictionary, even if you have one, okay? Let's not spoil the fun. All right. Here, define or describe or put down a few words about correction. When somebody says written correction about students, written work or oral work, what do you think? And what do you think of when they say feedback? What are some key terms? Are they the same or different? In what ways? Why is the difference important? Don't try to make it elaborate. This is not an essay question, just be practical. What does it mean to the teacher? I'll give you 2-3 minutes.
Tabii öyle. İyi, ha.
She doesn't do much, remember? I think you're right too, now, but and gives us feedback. Incorporated into what you think as well.
Correction is actually correcting a word, whereas feedback means giving some information to the person so that he or she can why is this difference?
Well, I think because they form athletes that do it in the right way, then they would make the same mistake.
Right.
But that's just it never makes a difference. I've tried it over and over again. So I've given up, giving feedback and back to my correcting
That's reality, huh?
Yeah. Oh, she did this good.
Really? Okay. Done? All right. Now, you probably came up with some answers, probably agreed or didn't agree. Fine. I'm going to now do some kind of dictation. Do you like dictation? No? Yes? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read 3 sentences to you. Okay. Keep your answers aside. Don't throw them away. We're going to go back to them in a minute. Okay. I'm going to read 3 sentences. But since we are all in the same profession, I'm just going to read each sentence once. Because işte, going to be difficult. So, but I'll start with the easy and short one and go towards the more complicated and difficult one. I'm not going to be particularly slow, but I'm not going to be very, very fast. So I want you to succeed a little bit too. Don't leave in the middle. Try, rely on your memory as well, and try to construct a full sentence. By the way, if you want to make mistakes, do so. It would be nice, useful. Okay, so if you think there's a mistake, don't correct it. Just go on. It will be very useful for us. So, my first sentence. Listen to the sentences carefully.
Are we supposed to write down?
Mm-hmm. Sentence 2. Correction is defined as a change that makes something right, true, accurate, etc. Sentence 3. Feedback is described as helpful information or criticism that is given to someone to say what can be done to improve a performance product, etc. Don't forget to keep your mistakes. All right. Now I'm going to ask you two things, but two very different things. First of all, compare your answers with the ones you just received, except for the first sentence. That was for practice purposes. The two sentences, the second and the third, are definitions that I've found on Merriam-Webster Advanced Learners Dictionary. Compare your answers with those there and see if there are differences in understanding, okay? And we will go on to the next stage. So I'm going to give you 2-3 minutes. Have a look.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time feeling my own hand right now.
Can we write on this, or is it electronic?
I think it's electronic. I don't think we are allowed to.
Yes, it is electronic, so let's not use that. All right, how close, could you raise your hands if your definitions were close to the ones you just received? And the others a little different. Okay. Can you discern some kind of difference between the two from the definitions? What may be the difference? Where does the difference come from, in your opinion? Yeah?
Function, I guess.
Again, please?
The function.
Function.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Function of the correction, function of the feedback. Yeah? Anything else? Okay, now we will try to do actually each one. Up to here though, let's stop a little bit more. And now we'll practice and try to do correction and feedback on the kind of sentences you've created, you've just written. But before that, you wrote things twice. I asked you to write down the meaning of workshop and presenter and the participants' roles. How did I give the correct answer? Do you remember? Okay. Then who did the correction and checking? So that was kind of self-correction. You did it on your own. You compared it, your performance with the one here or with the information here. Okay. Did it work, do you think? Think about your own experience. Does it work? Yeah. Depending on the level of course, students you have, it may work, it may not. It depends on the test. Okay. Here, the teacher was not even involved in correcting anything. I just gave you written correct version. It was the answer key. And that's kind of correction, isn't it? This is the correct answer compared with yours. Okay. In checking your own answers, your performance, what did I do? Did I say, tell me your answer? No. Why not, do you think? Possibly, yes. Also. So you had to grade yourself, and let's say it at the end. But I didn't start with, who couldn't find the answer? I didn't say. I said, who were close or close enough? Why?
To be positive.
Positive, exactly. If I just say, who were wrong, and you have to stick your neck, I was the one who couldn't do it, Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I mean, there are some teachers, instructors here, we don't want to risk that. But if you just say like this, and if I turn around, oh, couldn't you do it? You just say, oh, I didn't hear the question. Of course I did, kind of thing. Saving face in this kind of thing is something really serious, in my experience. Don't say, don't elicit answers if you know that there might be a risk, a high risk that they're wrong. Don't do that. It's a trap. They will not answer your question the next time, ever. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to embarrass anyone. My objective was to share the meaning of the word. That's it. Everybody knows it. İşte. The next time, I again gave you the answers in a different way. That was dictation. Who did the checking? You did. Okay. Maybe self, maybe peers. Okay. Did the teacher do anything? Not really, in correcting wise. I showed the answer key or gave the answer key. Okay. And here, did I again ask who couldn't know, who was just out of it? Don't you know correction is different from feedback? Did I say that? No. So just to save face and not to impose. The purpose is to just share the information, teach something, and stay there. Right? That's why we did that. So we covered self-correction, written one type of feedback showing the answer key, and we covered some kind of peer correction too. Now we're going to do a more classic way of peer correction. And you can guess what I'm going to ask you to do. Everybody's written it, I suppose, right? The 3 definitions. And I hope you kept some of the mistakes or words that you may have missed. What I would like you to do is to first listen to the instructions, because we're going to do two ways. One, you will exchange in a minute, exchange papers, and be as perfectionist as possible, right? The first 2 sentences, the short one and the word correction, the sentence with correction. And just do correction, like an editor, okay? Check and put the correction. If it's wrong, just cross it out and put the correct version. Don't touch the definition with feedback, because we're going to practice correction in a different way on that one, okay? So let's try. Exchange papers. And sorry. Well, practice teachers. I'll show you the actual sentence correction. I'll do that. I'll just show you what I mean. Right. I'm going to put the sign there saying you're missing. Oh, okay. No, but I'm listen to the sentences correctly. So this was what the teacher listen to the sentences. Correction is that's correct. Change. Yeah. Okay. Right, true, accurate, etc. Rehash this. Just do the correction behind that. Yes. True, true, accurate, etc. Yes, we got it all, I guess. If you've done your correction of the sentence should have some marks like this. You can see a classic corrected piece of paper. So it should have a cross or the correct version inserted, How does it look? How does it look? Beautiful, teacher? That's a lot of hard work. Okay. Now, this is correction that I must admit we do when we are short of time. The students write their materials, but we have paragraph level, but it doesn't matter. We just, grab some colored paper, a pencil, pen, and we say, Allah never. And then you show, and we just give this back to the student. Now, let's think, what is a student supposed to do with that? Put it, copy it perhaps on another one to make it more beautiful, okay? What will the student learn out of it?
Not much.
You've
If he's
done the
careful,
work.
if he's careful.
Yeah, but not many students do that. Not many students ask, I wonder why the teacher thought not that R is more suitable than is. Do they think really in your experience?
Surprisingly, some do.
That's true, magically.
Yeah. But most don't, you're right.
Most don't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is a no-no, but hey, look at it. It's ugly. Okay, there is another way of doing correction. Correction isn't ugly, by the way. We're not doing correction as too easy. We're saying this way of doing it really is not doing its job. There's always a risk. I mean, you don't know what the students understand out of it. What's the educational point? Do they get it? I don't know. And also, it's very negative. What is the student successful about? What is the success area? We don't know. You're not telling the student. So let's turn it into a more kind of an indirect way. You've probably heard of correction codes. Yeah? List of correction codes. Let me see what page I have. There's a... Oops. Okay. This is one example I found on the web. If you say correction code, you'll find 100 different types. And this is one, I chose this because it has red in it and I like the way it looks. But you don't have to use this, it looks like Egyptian really. I mean, this is spelling, but add a period, okay. Delete, oh, this one's difficult. Capitalize, wow. Add a word, yeah, this is something I choose, but add a comma. You have to memorize this yourself and you have to get the students to memorize this or maybe give them the code.
What if you make your own code? Make up your own code.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting too. And there's what I liked about this, it's neat and tidy. It looks nice, although it's confusing to me. But there's an example here with the list. So if you're going to use something like this, it's always a good idea to show how it will look in their paragraphs. What it will look like, and perhaps the correction as well. But then, hey, it's too much work. And as time goes by, you realize the students will have many different other mistakes than you can imagine. So from 5 or 6 you get 10, and then 15, and then 20, and then you forget your own course. This is my experience. And of course, imagine you have 20 students if you're lucky. And students are very creative. You don't know what to say. So I said, I've changed my mind, and I went into what you said. I created my own very simple correction code. I just underline the word if something is wrong. If there's an error and mistakes, the verb is in the wrong form, spelling mistake in the word, whatever, something is wrong, mistake. Below the word, I put an X if the word is extra. You don't need it. Okay? I put this to show there should be something there. Put an an article, something missing. Here, sometimes I say, well, I don't know. The whole sentence is sometimes reconsider from the beginning. And I also have this. Ta-da, correct. There are some correct areas too. I do this, and some people say, well, beginners can't understand this. They do. I've tried it. If you train them right from the beginning, they do. But of course, if you get to be, if you start to write very complicated things, they're no longer beginners anyway, so they can still do it. So just code them, leave it to the student, give the peers, and see the results. Shall we try? The third definition, feedback. Have a look at your friend's paper. Try to use a correction code. This is mine. The other one is another one. The correction code that you know. It's a Pay attention not to cross out any of the students' words.
Thanks a lot.
Teacher, can we have the definition of criticism?
Oh, sorry, sure. That was the most difficult one.
Yeah, I'm missing the word.
Yes.
That is given to someone.
How am I supposed to do it? Am I gonna do it like
Is it spelling?
you just reduce the goal to close, that is given proof.
Ah, wow. Maybe you should put that to. Then I'm missing two
Did
words.
you say use the correction codes yourselves? You meant to close your
She says
He's
two
like the
words.
question mark. You just somebody to say.
If that was confusing, I think I did, I wasn't eligible.
Well, I think this is okay, because the meaning is fine, it's just reduce the goal to close.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't find the rest of it.
Where is it? He's fine. Feedback is described as helpful information or strategic that is given to someone to say what can be done to improve performance, product, etc. Can I have my check mark, please?
Oh, yeah.
Check mark.
Let me give you a star.
Forward. Okay, you got your feedback.
Yes,
and then-
thank you, Key.
Okay, well, of course, the correction code gets the students to work on the correction, right? They have to think about it. It relieves the teacher from work a little bit, which is actually good because you have you save your energy for other useful things for students, as well as enjoying a good film at night. Also, the students will become more aware of their own writing, perhaps, and if you do it in peer correction, they'll get, research says that, it actually pays off. It has a benefit on the actual writers too. I'm hoping, I haven't done any research on that, but I'm doing this in class constantly to benefit them. So this is some kind of correction. This is, of course, low-level concerns, right? Mind you. Low-level concerns, spelling, punctuation, verb to, subject-verb agreement. These are easy to do. What about some other issues we're going to see in a minute? Now, I'm going to go on to some other views on correction and feedback and what teachers do. Just to relax a little bit and think more about this, what as teachers we do to people. I'll show you some cartoons. Cartoons are really good things to show what the public feels, right? See what language teachers have been doing to people. What is the criticism here? Okay. The police describes it as vandalism, which is true, isn't it? Crossing out some other person's. This is the feeling it gives to them. What is the criticism here? They can only think about correcting mistakes, and they can't live without it. The red pen. Okay. So language teachers are not made to do this only, but it tells us something. This is irritating the public, really, our students. Okay, the third one. What is the criticism here? Let me read the first, if you can't see it. It's the message I sent last week. Apparently, it was found by an English teacher. He's corrected the spelling mistakes and sent it back. Okay.
Missed the point.
Right. Content is out, right? The reader didn't pay attention to content and just was, there you go. This is what we do to students. This is the last one. I found it and it's so cute. It's in Turkish, I'm so sorry. I found it, this kid is crying. If you can't hear it, I can. Sevgili öğretmenim, ben size aşık oldum. Aşkısınızdan gözüm ne hayat bilgisi görüyor, ne de çapırım tablosunu. Bence sen dünyanın en güzel kadınısın. Dersten sonra bir yerde ayran içmeye ne dersin? Biz. Öptüm. What does the teacher do? Correct the mistakes, write the correct ones. Daha çok çaba göstermelisin. This is what I call feedback, what to do next. For what? To gain her heart? I don't know, something, I don't know. Alright, so even that is not good. This tells us, well, doing just this for especially writing performance is not enough. What shall we do? We will see. Shall we take a break there?
Yeah.
Is it time? After the break. 10 minutes break, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, 10 minutes break.